Deputy Director of Athletics at Penn State, Scott Sidwell. Scott, welcome. It's a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to be with you, Steve, and looking forward to a big week here in Happy Valley with Topgolf opening it up at Beaver Stadium on the 2nd.
How did that happen? Because they've done this at various places, so how did it happen to get it here?
Well, you know what? We were a partner with Revel XP. They do a lot of corporate hospitality and different things, and they do all of the corporate hospitality tents here at Beaver Stadium on game days. And so as we were talking to those folks and seeing what was going on out and around the country, we inquired and said, what would it take to get Topgolf to come to Beaver Stadium? And then certainly our great facilities team was able to get together with their folks and say, could this be done? How would it be done? And then as we started looking at the schedule and thinking about what's going on this week. I mean, obviously this is a huge weekend, for State College Happy Valley. We've got Special Olympics are coming to town. We've got Coaches versus Cancer. We've got Topgolf, and it's our big one of our first big weeks of summer camps for football and the like. So we've got a lot going on. It's whiteout week, for the football group, and so we're tying a lot of those things together. And that was an opportunity to say, this is what we see for the future. The Happy Valley Venture Bureau and the Sports Commission that was newly formed is taking a look at everything that's going on in the community and saying, how do we get some synergy and tying some of those things together? So thinking about all those people that are going to be in town here, what more could we offer them? So it really made sense this, week to think about how we, identified this week as the week we could do it. And we're just really excited. We've had a great response. They're closing in on, 3,000 spots that have been sold to come hit golf balls in Beaver Stadium at the Targets and the Topgolf experience, right? So it's really exciting to see it come together.
That's the other. How many, over the years that you've been here, how often has somebody come up to you and said, man, I'd love to hit a golf ball in Beaver Stadium? I've had a lot over the years. I've had people say, man, I'd love to take a wedge and hit a ball in Beaver Stadium.
Yeah, that's certainly part of the attraction, right? Is having the opportunity to come, and then we've put some packages together. There's a unrivaled experience package that gets you the green fees at the white course and drink tickets, and you get tours and different things like that. So it's it's exciting to be able to offer this. I mean, one of the things I don't think is widely recognized or promoted is we do a ton of stadium tours throughout the year. I mean, people come and go through the all sports museum and people take tours of the stadium and those kind of things. So adding this to the mix, I think, is really exciting for everybody.
What does it take for Topgolf to set this up in terms of the man hours to set up and do it in such a way?
Yeah, well, I can tell you, certainly, again, our hats off to Herb Combs and his team over at the stadium, and Terry Hansel and those guys. They do such a wonderful job of the operations and the things that people don't see, right? So, a couple of 18-wheelers came in with the setups and the bays and the scaffolding and the different things, came in over the weekend, and they were here setting up all weekend and getting it ready to go. There's some, as I got my report this morning from Herb and his team, they were, putting the finishing touches on things, and I'm excited. I've purposely stayed away. I wanted to see it when it was finished, right? And so from that, I don't want to grab a club, while they're still setting up the bays. But this is really neat. I think it's neat for our community. Certainly neat for us here at Penn State and Penn State Athletics to be able to host something like this. And then when you have all those people coming together, I think it's wonderful opportunity on many fronts, including those prospective student athletes that are going to be and prospective students that will be on our campus, all weekend and throughout the week here. So just another thing that adds to the allure of why someone would want to come and be a part of Penn State.
Scott, you have a depth of love for every sport, but there's something about baseball. It's always been a draw. You coached it, for goodness sakes, at one point during the course of your career. How much fun was it to watch the progress of Penn State baseball from your perspective this season?
No, absolutely. It was just a great culture. The team, fought hard all year and, had a stretch of time where we were hot, and then there was, a little bit of stretch where we, lost some tough ones. But really to get in the tournament, win that first game, and then, you're down 4-0 going into the ninth against Rutgers, you score 4, and it just was just they fought it and scrapped every piece of the way, and certainly the foundations are there for us to continue to build upon that. And having not been to the tournament in I think it was 9 or 10 years, and then we hadn't won a game there since 2008. So to go do that in game one, I mean, just a monster home run from Wood there, to see it go out of the park. Having spent time on the NCAA baseball committee and chaired it, I believe in 2017, 2018, knowing that ballpark to hit a ball as far as he did is not easy. And so I was jumping out of my seat, but certainly from that perspective, it's great to see those kids have that success, and our team be able to build, and Rob Cooper do such a wonderful job of creating a great culture and look to improve upon that.
I mean, look, they have fun playing. I mean, that's the thing that's neat about them. They have fun playing the game, and it translates to the fans. They see it.
Well, it's interesting. So we had, I don't remember what game or series what it was, but walked in and every so often go in and hear Coop address the team and different things just to be a part of it, right? And so I had the opportunity to hear him say all the great things they had done that weekend, and this was right about the time that we were finishing up school and graduation and that, and he turned to me and said, "Scott, would you like to say anything?" And I kind of caught off guard there, and so I stood up in front of the team and just said, "Look, I got to tell you, having been a former player, coach, been around the game and on the committee and those types of things, this is the best time of year to be a baseball player, because you get up every day and the only thing you got to do is go play baseball. There are some kids that are in summer school and the like, but and that team really embraced it. They embraced it down the stretch, with the last few series, and then ultimately into the Big Ten tournament. So that was a lot of fun for us to watch."
We've talked before about name, image, and likeness, which, of course, is something you're fully behind. You've worked very hard behind the scenes on several elements. Penn State, I want to say, is third in endowments, I think, nationally, somewhere in that neighborhood, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How important is it, when they hear the word collective, that the fans understand it's another option besides endowments, for example, that they can make a difference?
Yeah, listen, we most recently was just at the board meeting of the quarterback club and talked a lot about, hey, the evolution of how people can support. And this is something that is front and center of everything that's happening in our industry and in our business. And name, image, likeness, as it became legal last July 1 for folks to do, and each state has different, restrictions and those types of things. But really it's above and beyond all that. It is, right now, it's the most important thing that's being talked about, in our industry, of how people can support. And it doesn't take away from those who feel the need that they'd like to give to an endowment or they'd like to give to a facility. We're asking folks that this is something new and to have them take a look, and we're encouraging folks to help from a perspective of, if they have a business, they can go into business with one of our student athletes, then that's an opportunity for them to support. So it's something new, and folks are going to get on it and have the opportunity to be engaged in it. And from our perspective, it's Penn Staters will do what they've always done, which is support our students in ways that folks will last a lifetime. And this is yet another opportunity for folks to do that, and encourage folks, if they have questions, to get engaged, and we'll get them answered for you, and be able to engage fully to help our students. Next
up, Scott, is that we may not fully be out of the pandemic. Obviously, masking is back indoors at Penn State again with classrooms. All right, just so everyone understands. But it's a lot smaller in the rearview mirror. How about that? Considering Penn State's come out of that, how excited are you about the future here as Penn State has come out of that part of it?
Yeah, certainly. Look, we all went through a very tumultuous time, right, in our society, and how people handle that, and the different things that came from that. I think Penn State, as an institution, our community, more so than most, really handled it well, and we were able to come out. And we saw it last year, in the stands at all of our games. And now you have what we call a reset of the cadence, right? When you're getting invoiced for your tickets, when you got to make your plans to get your hotel rooms, traveling, getting all your tailgates together, doing all that. You have a full year of being able to reset that cycle And so that makes it even more exciting for us to be able to come out of this and come out, roaring like we do. And our fans will show up at all of our events like they have traditionally. And it's just exciting to see, you go into a year that you don't have that cloud. Now, certainly we're, in a period of time and we're, have to put some masks back on, but that's just hopefully a temporary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we can all get through that. But really looking forward to the fall.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally back to Topgolf. How excited are you to see how it plays out in there this weekend? Because you've had a lot of interest with this.
Yeah, it's I think certainly the intrigue of that the first time someone goes and hits one. Now look, you can't bring your clubs, and there's a ball that's a special ball that lines up with the targets and GPS and those types of things, right? But again, I think as people go out and hit, and they get to have the experience, and they bring their friends and do the like of having a great experience, that word will spread too. Right, so they'll go back to their golf courses or go back to their communities and be at the Little League fields or wherever they may be and say, "Man, I had a great time." And so, well, I'm going to get up there and try. And we hope that's what happens, right? Because every time we have someone that's either in our community or outside of our community come and experience State College, whether that's restaurants or hotels, certainly here at Beaver Stadium with Topgolf, everybody benefits. And that's really the point, is this time of year, this is something that's neat for folks to come do. People love coming to see, games on Saturdays, Beaver Stadium or Rec Hall, volleyball and wrestling and the like, and all the way through all of our facilities. Here's a time of year that we don't have those events that are happening, and now we're starting to create the type of opportunities people can come and grow the economy of State College, and that's really sitting at the core of this for all of us.
Scott, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for all the great work you do.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you.